my first time in New York, and we're here to see The View.
It's Wednesday, November 18th. Coming up live on The View. They're getting into the ring for hot topics. From what got Sherry hot and bothered at a WWE event to whether H1N1 will keep kids off Santa's lap at the mall. Plus, Barbara's internet joke of the week. And an exclusive clip from her interview where Sarah Palin reveals how her pro-life stance was tested when she discovered her unborn son, Trig, had Down syndrome. Plus, Jaclyn Smith showing off her new line of holiday fashions, revealing what she did when the internet reported she was dead, and sharing her final days with her friend Farrah Fawcett. Then, Modern Family's Sofia Vergara is telling you about starring in Colombia's version of Desperate Housewives, and being called one of this season's faces to watch. All that, hot topics, and more coming up live on The View.
To The View. Barbara, once again, you are on the tip of everybody's lips. You just working that Sarah Palin woman.
Yes.
That was a fabulous. It was fabulous last night. What else you got going on?
Well, we did two different days of interviews with her. And the one thing that we have not talked about, and truthfully, we saved it for 2020 this Friday night,
right.
And that is her relationship and her husband's relationship with their youngest child, 19-month-old Trig, who is a Down syndrome baby.
Right.
And by the way, you'll see her husband really for the first time when talking to him. But she was very honest about this little boy, whom she dearly loves. But 90% of the women who get news from amniocentesis that they will have a Down syndrome child abort the child. And we asked her about this because, well, you'll see. Let me show it to you, and then we'll talk about it.
Okay.
Sarah Palin and her husband Todd have 5 children. The youngest is 19-month-old Trig, who was born with Down syndrome.
I love you.
90% of pregnant women who learn they are carrying a Down syndrome baby have an abortion. When you heard that you were going to have a Down syndrome child, you said, "I'm not sure that I can handle this." Did you think then, even for a second, about aborting that baby?
I knew that the option was there, and that, Barbara, when I got those results back from the amniocentesis that showed, yes, he had an extra chromosome, I thought, again, for that split second, okay, now I know, too, why when that fear strikes you because of the unknown, why a woman would consider it an easier path to perhaps, if you will, do away with the problem instead of understanding that every child has purpose. There is destiny for every child, and it can be good in our world, and that's what I held on to.
She is, of course, right to life.
Yeah, but it sounded, and maybe I'm mishearing it, but it sounded a tad bit judgmental of women who may not make the choice. I don't think it's easier for women to do away with the problem. Sometimes some women can't handle it. Some women don't have the financial ability to do it. There's a lot of reasons people make these choices. And I understand being pro-life for stuff, but well, you can't really sort of say do away with the problem. That's kind of a
I could understand how they...
When she said it, I took it as, when you say it is not an easy to make, but you always have another person. You might have a person who goes, but here's another way to think of it. That's the way I took it when she said, babies with Down syndrome have a destiny, that, here's another way to look at it.
I think it can be, I think that maybe if she were to hear it and understand how people are understanding what she said in terms of the easier way out, I think that obviously can cast a certain level of judgment on somebody else, so I get what you're saying. Yeah. But I do think her cause is great in that, if you've known anyone growing up with special needs and the love that they give and how they teach you how to love, and there shouldn't be a hierarchy of beings. There shouldn't be this person is more valuable. When you see that 90%,
That's
Barbara,
why
that's staggering.
The way you say it, it sounds like it's more about the mother. They teach you how to love. What
No,
about
I'm
the
saying
kids?
Sarah Palin, by the way,
these children often to say that
Sarah Palin says that this, and her husband, and you'll see much more of this, and you'll see the child and the husband. Sarah Palin does say it teaches you, it teaches you compassion and so on. You know, Levi Johnson, the wonderful young man who was famous because he got a daughter pregnant, has said that she had called the baby, she didn't want anything to do, I think, with the retarded baby, and she says she never said anything. But I'm going to say something now very seriously, because I've written about it. I had an older sister who has passed away, who was called retarded. And today today we say special needs, but there still is in New York, and I give them money. It's called the Association for the Help of Retarded Children. We call them now special needs. And having my sister the way she was, I loved her dearly, but I was also very conflicted. This is a very complicated situation. It's very easy for someone outside of it to say, oh, it gives you compassion. I know what my sister went through, and I know what I went through. And it's an extremely difficult decision that affects the entire family.
But all children, I think, present their parents with difficulty at some point. There's
Not
no
the
guarantee
same,
that...
No,
I think the challenges
as a
are
child
unique,
with
but what I'm
special
saying,
needs.
then where do you draw the line? Is it then someone with a visual impairment that we're going to see the 90%
I'm not talking about, I'm not saying
I know.
away with a board or anything.
Absolutely not. I
just
in no way
saying
was inferring that.
Okay.
I believe, though, that there is... I think that every child uniquely presents challenges to parents, and I think that when you see that 90%, I think that's what is almost
only you know what your situation is. No one outside of you can judge you for making the choices you make. It's not right.
By the way, I don't want to imply for a moment that everyone in our family didn't cherish my sister.
Yes,
and there was no
course.
question of her not living. And she was beautiful.
I think that you have to think about the child's life, too. I mean, the quality of the child's life. She's obviously going to be here when Sarah or any of these mothers go to the next world, whatever that may be. And that child is now alone in the world. So you have to think about what is the future of the child, not just about how you feel.
Why not create programs that help these individuals develop...
Socialism?
Look.
What programs?
Oh, are you now admitting it's socialism? I love this. Great.
Being
I will
sarcastic.
tell you what programs, because wait, there are now. There are programs, there are places for young boys and girls to live, and there are homes when they get older. It's more difficult when they get older. Every parent worries about it. My parents always worried what happens when they go. In the Palin family, it's a very extended family, and also the children seem to love this little boy too. But if you have a situation where, as in my family, there was no one else, my parents worried about this always. And my sister, as I said, was beautiful and in so many ways so intelligent. And I don't want to go through it all. I just want to say it's a very complicated decision.
But when you talk about programs, we had a doctor on here, Dr. Phil Levy, who, because I know my son, I don't like it when they say, you know, that he's developmentally delayed. And he's in a program called YAI, and they have programs for children with autism all the way up until adulthood and developmentally delayed children. But when I was doing in vitro, we had a male embryo that had an extra chromosome that would have been Down syndrome. That was a really difficult decision not to implant that particular embryo inside of going, what would the quality of life be for my son? What would, you know, but I have Jeffrey, who's beautiful, and he has developmental delays, which is a challenge as well. That's a hard one.
It's all hard. And remember, back when your sister was little, there weren't that many places that you could even, you know, what they used to do with folks. You remember that man, what's his name? Geraldo Rivera did the most excruciatingly painful video of how we took care of the developmentally challenged. So I just guess because there's so many folks, it's a hard decision no matter what. You know, and if you find yourself pregnant and maybe you're not ready or you don't have the finances, it is a very tough decision to decide what to do. And
the implication is that you're selfish if you don't.
All parents who are going through that, you know, you got my heart, because I know how difficult just making the decision to have a kid is.
I just
It's
hope
hard.
that you will watch 2020 because we're making it sound very grim. There's also so much about it that's charming and wonderful, and meeting the husband. By the way,
Right.
Todd Palin was I found him a very attractive and appealing man.
That's scary when you say that.
I'm sorry, he was.
It's not the
Because,
first man she's
because
ever
I
had.
know what happens when she sits next to them and does that. It's fantastic. Look, we're going to go and come right back with more Hot Topics. President Obama has been traveling in Europe and Asia, and people are all fired up over his bow to Japan's Emperor, oh my, Akihito.
Akihito.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Akihito.
Yes, saying it showed a sign of weakness. Former Vice President Dick Cheney added, "There's no reason for an American president to bow to anyone." Dick! It's called protocol. What's wrong with you? You know better than that. Even your man bowed. Come on, stop it, Jiggy.
But President Bush held hands with the Saudi prince. I have a picture of it. Look, aren't that cute? Look how nice.
But it's not. It's all along with protocol. It's also a respect thing,
Well,
because if
that's
somebody
the
from
protocol.
if someone from another country came over here and they went to Obama and they didn't shake his hand and they just stood there, we'd be all up in arms because they didn't follow the protocol.
It is respect, but it's not protocol. No, years ago, under Ronald Reagan, I mean, protocol is something you have to do.
Yeah.
Lenore Annenberg was the chief of protocol, and you can see her there. She's the one. She's not Nancy Reagan. She's the one on the other side, and that was her husband. Okay, and she curtsied to Prince Charles when she met them. Well, you would have thought. I mean, it was she was. You know, they didn't wipe her out, but she was severely punished because we are a democracy. We don't curtsy and we don't bow. That's why he's being criticized. I thought it was a very charming thing to do. But we have these things. You don't curtsy, you don't bow, you don't.
There's body language, and I think, I was personally just waiting for the fist bump to make it around the world. But I think that there are more important than did he bow or not, I think, is what's being done. I think right now he's on a tour meeting with leaders and hoping to establish this vision and sort of idea of America refreshed. I think that after a little while, we're going to start asking, what is he coming out of these meetings doing? Okay,
well,
so is something
the
being
Nobel
done?
Peace Prize that everybody says he didn't deserve.
Well, let's see what comes out of it. I think he needs to meet everyone. I think it's familiarity, but I think at the end of the day, it can't just be a field trip. Let's get something done.
I think he's actually not just doing field trip. I think he's actually trying to get China to get on board with some of the things that they have sort of been very remiss with, overfishing, along with Japan. I think he's been sort of doing stuff, but I believe that now maybe I'm wrong, but I always thought that you were supposed to give the respect in the country that you were in. I thought you were supposed to do that because I know Clinton did it. He always gave the thing, and
It's changed throughout the years. I mean, it's not always been. John F. Kennedy asked Jackie not to.
Don't curtsy when you meet the members of a royal family.
Didn't John F. Kennedy ask Jackie not to curtsy as well? I thought he did.
What do you do in the members of the royal family? You just stand there and look down at the floor? What's the protocol?
I mean, look, it is awkward. I remember going to the dinner with the Queen. I didn't know what to do.
You curtsy?
I'm going to curtsy. Do a little
You stole something. You didn't curtsy.
Not from the royal family.
You stole those plates you gave us.
I bought them.
Oh.
Wow.
They were tin plates.
Did you steal anything?
I only steal from the White House.
An international incident we don't need, but what?
I was going to say, at least he didn't puke on the emperor like George Sr. did. Remember when he was in Japan? He threw up?
No, it was not protocol, Joy.
Never, I'm just saying.
Well, President Obama is also at the center of another poop storm. It's an email controversy that you really wanted to clear up because it's annoying you.
Yeah, it's annoying me. I keep getting these emails from fellow conservatives, and the latest one is about, again, asserting that the president is un-American, and what they're saying is he didn't salute on this past Veterans Day. So they show this photo along with the email. Our president, is he American? Why is he the only man not saluting? Well, let's clear up the first thing. Number one, that was not from Veterans Day. That was actually shot from Memorial Day, and those soldiers are saluting him as he entered into the ceremony as they played Hail to the Chief. Number 2, this is later that day, saluting during the national anthem. Number 3, the actual photo from this past Veterans Day shows our president saluting during the national anthem. So I beg of these renegade conservatives sending these emails along, focus on the actual issues and stop sending these bogus emails to everyone, including me. Please,
You
thank
were
you.
being nice about President Obama.
I just want to be fair.
It's a good day.
You have always been. I like that about you.
You and Meghan McCain, the new Republican Party.
Yeah. If only, if you could run, I would run your campaign for you.
I'll run miles. Give me 5 miles. I'll run
Listen,
that.
a pill. I'm going to give you a pill that'll make you run. A pill being called Viagra for women.
She has no problem with Viagra, Elizabeth.
Maybe on the way. A German company has been testing a pill that had 22% of women with low libido reporting more satisfying sexual events.
Really? I wonder what's in the pill. Vodka?
But you know, they've been trying for years to get a female version of Viagra. But of course, it's different things that happen to him. By the way, 22% is not a very large amount. I mean, Viagra and the other, works in with a much larger amount, 22%. Right. It also says that 10% of premenopausal women are affected by the lack of sexual desire. Well, when I've read different reports, it's much more than 10%.
And no matter if you have a pill that's giving you all the sexual desire in the world, you still got to take the kids to soccer class. You still got to do laundry. You still got to clean up. It's, that's a lot of the reasons why we're, I mean, not a lot, I'm not going to say that, but when they're coming and they're freaking you in the back and you're trying to iron the clothes, it's like, I'm doing something. Hey!
How do we ever get anything done? I'm a little concerned about the side effects because I've seen those commercials for the guys.
What am I doing on this show?
I was just asking myself the same question.
Ditto.
And now for Barbara's internet joke of the week.
I would like to do a disclaimer. I don't want to do these, but Bill Getty thinks they're terrific. One more, what am I doing on the show? Here is my joke of the week. Okay. Yeah. A son and a daughter wanted to celebrate their father's 90th birthday, so they bought him a ticket to Miami, and they put him up at the best hotel. And at 7 o'clock at night, there was a knock on his door. And when he opened the door, there was this beautiful woman smiling at him. Yes, he said. And she said, I'm here for you. And he said, what do you want? And she said, I want to give you super sex. And the father thought for a minute, and then he said, I'll take the soup.
And we will be right back with even more Hot Topics. What's happening on your show?
Oh, tonight on my show on HLN, which Barbara can't find the number, it's on 58 in New York. And I used your clips last night. It was all about you last night.
I was looking for you. I couldn't find you.
Anyway, tonight I have Olivia Newton-John on, and she was a breast cancer survivor. So she's going to talk about this whole mammography thing. And tomorrow, George Lopez. So check it out.
Nice. Great. Now, billion-dollar Ponzi schemer Bernie Madoff's belongings went to the auction block, and his boats and car and his wife's jewels scored victims $3 million they were hoping to get, about, maybe $500,000. So they did really well. But people were kind of saying, well, why would you want to buy this stuff? What's the fascination?
Well, hopefully some people, bought something because they wanted to help some other folks. But you can't deny.
I doubt that that's true.
No. Well, but
I think they bought it because they wanted to say, these are Ruth Madoff's earrings, and that gives them some kind of status.
But you're also getting a discount if you're buying Ruth Madoff's earrings as opposed to going to Harry
went
Winston.
for more.
They went for more.
The thing that was so interesting, I mean, I can see that they bought one of his jackets that said Madoff, but why you would wonder, how many times you're going to say, I'm wearing Ruth Madoff's, but everything went more than it should have. But Whoopi and I were talking because when Jackie Kennedy Onassis' things were auctioned, you and I both bought something.
Yes, we got stuff. Also with the Duchess of Windsor.
The Duchess of Windsor, that's what
What do you
I
have
bought.
from Jackie's collection?
Well, no, Jackie Connection, I couldn't understand why people would buy one costume jewelry earring. What were they going to do with it?
Jackie
Just to say at a party, this is Jackie Kennedy's earring. That's the whole thing.
Well,
What's
for the
same
sense
thing
of
with
fashion,
Madoff?
I think anyone involved in fashion or that has a passion for it would maybe like to collect.
one?
Why not turn it into a brooch?
Well, they might not have been able to afford. You know, sometimes you can only afford one. But the thing is that auctions are fascinating because if you're a history buff or if you're a Kennedy person, you know, a Kennedy collector, that's the kind of auction you would go to. I love the Duchess of Windsor stuff because everything had W's on it.
Me too.
So it said Whoopi.
And it said Walters.
Well, see, I could see buying something about Kennedy or even those two, who, you know, the.
I thought something from Michael Jackson.
Because that's really historical stuff.
Yeah.
But Madoff, I think, is a nefarious idea and nasty. Why would you own that?
Well,
it's like having
because
something.
it also
It's like
is-
having Nazi memorabilia.
No,
or,
it's not the same.
Or having
It's not
Charles
the same, no.
Manson's cufflinks
No,
or
it's
something.
not the same.
No, but I
It's
hear
not
you.
the
I
same.
actually hear what
It's
Joy's
not the
saying. There's
same.
something
Yes.
very like dirty and wrong about their stuff. You just feel like it's
There's all the people
wrong.
that suffered it because of Madoff. It seems unfair, but these people should take this $700,000 and donate it to the victims without getting the sports fish boat.
But it's something to be able to be in that boat
Yeah,
knowing
but you
Madoff
know
is
what?
sitting in prison.
You can't do that because if there are people who collect J.P. Morgan stuff, people who collect things from good financiers, bad financiers, this is history for them. And I think people who put that money out, in part, said, you know what, I'm going to do it. But the reason it went for more is because everybody was trying to bid, so it makes the price go up.
Yeah.
So it was insane. But none of that matters right now because it's a word from our sponsor.
That's right. From dollars to dollops, we're going to discuss things right now. The holidays are right around the corner, and that means celebrating with family and friends. And who better to enhance the upcoming festivities than Daisy Brand Sour Cream, a family-owned company that is focused on making the best-tasting sour cream for over 4 generations. Daisy Brand Sour Cream is the special ingredient that makes meals more enjoyable for the whole family. Think of a sour cream vegetable dip to get things started, per se. Then try some piping hot chili with a dollop of Daisy to warm things up. That's right. Add some dollops to your potato dishes. Why not? And top it all off with a creamy cheesecake.
Looks good.
Because we all know that sour cream is a special ingredient that makes cakes and breads extra moist and delicious. So, for the best tasting holiday recipes, remember a dollop of Daisy is the best natural way to make your favorite holiday recipes taste even better. And guess what? You are all going home with Daisy sour cream in a Thanksgiving cookbook.
Yeah. Now, I bet that you don't know that there's a jingle that goes with that.
I do. A dollop.
Do a dollop, do a dollop with Daisy. We'll be right back with the fabulous Jaclyn Smith.
It was great.
Getting my workout on after the show, you know, this is how. This is how I warm up on set. You know, I have to do this in between takes and stuff. She's my coach.
Come on, give me another 10.
So how did it go?
Awesome. I want to move in. Can I move in and hang out with them all the time? I just want to shoot them. Am I allowed to say
No.
Jaclyn Smith has had a roller coaster ride in the spotlight this year. She lost her mother, she lost her dear friend Farrah Fawcett, and then there were internet rumors that she herself had died. Well, here to tell us how she got through it all and how also happy things in her life as well. Please welcome someone whom I just think is terrific, Jaclyn Smith.
Was that nice to see you again?
Politically correct. I know, but it was the right thing to do.
I think I should
It was the
curtsy
right
to
thing
all
to
of
do
you.
to curtsy to it. Listen, this is the weirdest thing. Rumors that you had died. You were on vacation in Honduras.
Yeah, I've never been to Honduras.
Oh, so we
Tabloid
start with that.
journalism.
So where does something like this come from, and what do you do about it?
I don't know. I mean,
Hello,
thank
I'm
goodness.
alive.
Yeah, thank goodness my loved ones were close at hand and knew. But my publicist was with press at the time and took care of it. Thank you, Jay.
Where does it
I
come
mean,
from?
I don't know. It can be very hurtful. I mean, because there are people that follow your career and care, as you know. And so they believe it, and it's not based on fact. And That's the bad.
But maybe someone
things
looked like
aren't.
you down there and they made a mistake.
Well, they said it was a stunt
looks as pretty as
double.
you, I'm
Well, thank you.
Listen, did you get a nice obituary?
I don't even think I got that, and I didn't get an apology from Perez Hilton. No apology,
didn't?
nothing. No, I don't even think I got a retraction.
in his column? Was
Yeah,
it?
no,
Wow.
I mean, I thought I'd get flowers the next day or something. No, it's sad because, you grow up thinking everything's based on fact, and people do read things that they believe. You pick up a newspaper, you got to be careful.
Charlie's Angels, you were, you and Farrah Fawcett, and it was such a launching pad. And the last time you and I talked was when we did a special on Farrah's death.
Yeah.
How are you doing with all that?
It's a hard year, and I'm a crybaby, so I don't go too far into it. Let me get my. There's been so much said about her, from Vanity Fair to everything. If I say something about my friend, she was a golden girl. She loved life. She embraced it. She was stubbornly original with everything she did, and I say that with love. The last time I saw her, we had dinner at my house, and she was like a kid. We were like two girls just starting out. Went up to my closet, and she said, I want those shoes, those shoes, those shoes. And I went, oh, those are brand new. And she said, I don't care. They're mine. And, it was like she wasn't even sick. So the disease did not kill her spirit. And I just talked to her daddy, and, who is inspirational. And she had, I think what kept her going was that wonderful upbringing and those wonderful parents that she had.
Yeah. She was a very bright woman, very smart.
Smart with all of her decisions, very comfortable with her decisions, whether it be to leave Charlie's after a year or to shed a glamorous image.
She was only there a year, and she made such an impact in 1 year.
In 1 year.
I never realized the artist that she was. And Barbara, during your special, I mean, that just from, my growing up, I never knew. And I was so, blown away by that. And the creativity, obviously, is something that you both shared. Yes. You now are sharing it with other people. It's really exciting, your fashion line.
I love it. It's been 25 years, Kmart.
Yeah.
25 years.
And it's a great thing.
Yes,
and
we know marriages don't last that long.
25 years.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I'm in Kmart right now. My beautiful two-ply 100% cashmere sweater feel.
Yes. And you brought some looks for us as well, too.
I did.
In addition to what you have on. Can we talk about the first look?
Okay, the first look is our take on the motorcycle jacket, but we've added the little quilting to give it a chic, more refined look. She's also in the cashmere sweater, the angel fit denim
That's a
jeans.
Great jacket.
It really is.
I've
It
seen
comes
a much
in
more
gray.
expensive version.
I mean, $59.99. And this week you can get my cashmere sweater for under $35.
Yeah.
I mean, great gift ideas. Yeah.
We have another, too. We have another. The bag is also yours,
The
right?
bag is mine, the shoes, the scarf, the earrings. Hey, am I selling too much here?
No, we have another look.
Oh, we have another look.
Yeah, let's see more.
This is called a twofer because the satin scarf is attached to the sweater, which gives a layered look without the bulk.
Oh, okay.
And the skirt is the black tuxedo, $19.99. If you notice the pleating in the back, it softens the tailoring, and that's also in the skirt I'm wearing,
nice.
that kind of tailoring. It's sort of the 40s look, very feminine.
Nice. Is the scarf matching your skirt?
The scarf, yes, it is. So, I could put that on with this.
Okay, you could.
I want all of you girls in my life.
You more.
And this is the printed cardigan. It's, I think, $26.99. As you see, she's layered my beautiful necklaces, which sometime I wrap around as bracelets, and the black tuxedo pants, which are a staple. And I think the versatility of my line is what's made it stay around for 25 years, because that's a forever. We want interchangeable separates to build a wardrobe on. Your money goes further. And I think in the economy today, you have to be a person that shops smart.
And final look, we have one more.
I want you to get it.
This is very nice. This is the last look that you have for
And
us
this is
today.
a long cardigan sweater. The fur collar is detachable. I have this sweater in black, and sometimes I put a big black patent belt with it. The skirt is like mine, but another colorway. The skirt $19.99, the sweater $29.99. So wonderful gift ideas. It's all for my holiday collection.
And you know, you can tell that she really knows what she's talking about. You have no cards here. You know what everything costs. You know the whole deal.
I really do. I have a great team, and we really work hand in hand.
You're one of the first people to do this, to branch out and start doing stuff like this. So it's wonderful to see where you are 25 years later.
Well, it's nice to go the distance.
As Jaclyn said, she not only makes the clothes themselves, but the ornaments and the bracelets and so forth. We just want to say that everyone in our audience is going to go home with a Christmas ornament from Jaclyn's home line. She has that as well. I'm awfully happy to see you, darling. Thank you for coming on with us. We'll be right back.
The funniest show of the year is the breakout hit sitcom of the season. And the New York Times has called Sofia Vergara a face to watch because she's such a strong voice in comedy. Take a look. She's Vergara.
So Lily likes that singing?
Yes, it relaxes her.
Oh, okay.
En la noche viene ya.
So Lily's deaf.
Please welcome back Sofia Vergara.
I love it too.
It's fantastic.
This is so great. Congratulations to you.
Thank you so much.
You play the hot young Colombian wife of Ed O'Neill, and
A much older man.
You could tell when you watched it. I mean, nothing. I'm saying you could. But you appeared in some other shows that didn't survive, which was Nights of Prosperity, where everybody's trying to find Mick Jagger, getting to Mick Jagger's place, and Dirty Sexy Money, and it didn't survive. But this one has just caught on to everybody's hearts. Did you think it was going to be this big of a hit?
No, because first of all, it was a comedy, and comedies are not supposedly doing that well now these times. So for me, it was kind of a surprise for everybody. But and for me, the character at the beginning, I thought it was going to be horrible because I'm like, they're gonna hate me. She's a gold digger, you know. She's a much younger woman. Why you want to do this? But now I understand her. You know, she's great. She's you know, she's a good woman and she loves him. She cares for him.
Really does love him.
So this is how you really talk.
You're from Colombia, right?
I am from Colombia.
I have the same thought. I thought except you're really a blonde.
Yes, I am blonde. Very blonde. My whole family is blonde, blue eyes, green eyes. Yes.
Mine
but I
too.
was not getting no jobs.
Mine too,
Yours
girl.
too?
Yeah, girl,
They
that's
make
the
you go a little darker. Yeah. You went darker than me a little bit.
A little, yeah, totally.
Yes, but I was not getting many jobs when I started acting in Los Angeles because they didn't know where to put me with the accent, with the body, the attitude. But I was blonde. Yeah. So I'm like, I was getting no jobs. And then I put the hair like this, and they all believe me I was the hot Latin woman.
What do you think when you hear, because the New York Times Sunday had you as one of the faces to watch, like the faces to watch this year. Do you like that? Does it make you feel a lot of pressure?
No, I love it. You know, I've been in this business for a long, long time, 20 years.
Really?
Yes, not in the American market, but in Latin America, in Colombia. And I used to work for Univision for many years. So I'm used to it. They always ask me now, so what did you buy yourself now that you are in a hit show, that you're working? And I'm like, for me, it's, you know, it's part of my career.
But a lot of people don't know that you are a big star in Colombia because you are in the version of Desperate Housewives over in Colombia.
Well, yes, I produced the show for Colombia. And it was fantastic, you know, everything, all the craziness, but in Spanish and with Latin woman, which is worse. Everything more blood. But it was...
And also, I think it's so good. You're a single mom of a teenage son who's 18.
I
Girl,
know,
you look
it's
so
horrible.
good.
I cannot lie about my age because they count and they,
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, I
What if you had
can't.
him when you were 12?
Yeah, 13.
13,
I was raped.
What's it like to have a teenage son? And how does he feel when people say, boy, your mother is really hot?
Well, it's fantastic. For me, I would never, I don't regret it. I would never change it. I was married when I had him. But for him, I guess it's okay. He doesn't see me like, he doesn't think I'm that funny, that beautiful, or that sexy.
But his name is Manolo. Is he a foot freak or what, the kid? Is he a shoe fetishist?
No, when I named him like that, I didn't even know that Manolo Blahniks existed. No, it was worse. I was in love with Steven Bauer. That was the guy that played Manny in Scarface. Yes. Al Pacino's best friend in Scarface. And I thought he was so handsome. So I'm like, I want to name my son like that. And it was very funny for me because years later, when my son was like, 12 years old, I was having a conversation or an interview, and he was there. And he's like, yeah, my mom named me after a drug dealer junkie. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. He was very handsome.
You're just like your character on the show, but you have on the show, you have your own son who is, shall we say, a little chunky.
Yes.
Manny, and he practically walks away with the show. You must have enormous fun with him.
Oh, I think he's my son. I'm all the time like, no, don't put your hands in your mouth. Because, it's like, I love him. He's adorable. He's the perfect kid. He was, I wish he was also my son.
Speaking of your oldest, your son is actually going to college. So will he help you with the transition? Now you take him in. Are you ready for this?
I don't even want to think about it because I've had him since I went from my family. I left my family's house to have him and get married. So I've never been alone. In Colombia. And now I'm going to be, for the first time in my life, alone. So now I'm going to need a man.
No, what about, do you want an older man like the man like Ed O'Neill, or a younger man? Are you a barracuda or whatever?
You know what? I've never been, I don't know.
This is one of the Sofia, I don't think you're going to have any problem. You won't have any problem having a man calling you mama, girl.
Yeah, well,
You have somebody come, a friend of mine has come to play your ex-husband, I'm told.
Oh, my God.
And you are going to enjoy this actor.
I already enjoyed it. I'm telling you, I was telling the creators of the show, I think you should do like Lost, that they have flashbacks. So that I could make out or something with him, because they're not going to put me in makeup.
It's
Benjamin Bratt. So gorgeous. We had a great time on the set.
It's fun.
Fantastic.
Now, are you getting funnier with Ed O'Neill? Is he making you fun? Because I have the feeling that he's doing stuff to you when you're working that's making you funny.
I think I make things to him. I like because my character is sexy and funny, and she dresses always with crazy things. Every time I go on the set, he's like, a red dress.
Thank you so much, girl. Modern Family airs Wednesday nights at 8, 9 p.m. right here on ABC. We're going to be right back.
Hey, take a little time to enjoy the view. See you tomorrow.